everybody, and tonight we are going to have Annie F., one of our dietitians. She's going to talk about how to eat out after weight loss surgery. So she does have some great slides, some great ideas, and obviously be open to a lot of questions afterward. So here's Annie.
Hi, can everybody hear me okay? Okay, good. So like Katie said, my name's Annie. I'm one of the dietitians here. If I haven't met you already, I met a lot of you, so I'll be back. In the beginning, I have a few slides on just eating out in general, with some tips and tricks, things that I've thought of or heard other people suggest. And then most of this presentation is going to be a lot of examples. Just based off the feedback we've gotten from people, that's what people seem to be really wanting, is those concrete examples. So we've got a lot of those in here for you. So to start with, tip number one, just be present and enjoy. This kind of this is sort of the part that acknowledges that eating out is a very social activity most of the time in this culture. So be present, focus on your conversations that you're having with people and how your body feels while you're enjoying your food. Sort of don't let your food overshadow the rest of the whole experience of being out with people. Allow your mindfulness to be the driver that creates the experience rather than relying on just the food to give you pleasure. So just really taking in the whole experience, and that way whenever you're trying to order a certain thing or you're thinking about other things, it doesn't overtake the whole experience for you. Do not feel pressured to eat the same way as others at the table. So as you've probably noticed, a lot of people who haven't had weight loss surgery have a really hard time wrapping their head around how that works and how that is for you after you've had it. And also people can be weird sometimes about, well, if you're not eating it, then well, I shouldn't eat it, or it just kind of can start a whole other conversation that you have to acknowledge, and then you're dealing with that. And so that's kind of something I'd like for you to think about too, maybe even talk about in groups afterward, is kind of how you navigate the social aspect of that also. But just don't feel pressured to do things differently just because someone else might be doing them differently with you. Yeah, so set the tone. Usually other people take your lead, so if you act like it's no big deal and everything's fine, then they usually just follow suit with that. And just remember, most people, you can probably remember back to before you had surgery how hard it was to wrap your head around, oh, I'm only going to be able to eat this much, and that's kind of where the people are you might be with. So just kind of think about those social aspects. Tip number two, when possible, plan ahead. Find options that you can order ahead of time at the restaurants that you go to the most often, especially the ones that are close to your house. So think in terms of convenience, and then just plan ahead. To find menu items, simply Google the name of the restaurant plus nutrition information, or use resources like calorieking.com. The one I've been using the most recently is MyFitnessPal. They just have a really large database of restaurants and foods in general, so that's a good one. There's also a lot of really good apps out there you can use to find that information as well. Don't always use the kids menu as a substitute. So sometimes this can work, but not always. So I hear a lot of people say, I'll just order off the kids menu. Well, sometimes the only options on a kids menu might be like chicken nuggets or mac and cheese or things like that, and you might actually get more benefit from ordering off the regular menu and then just having the leftovers to take home. So sometimes that can work, but just be careful. You want to get the most bang for your buck as far as nutrition goes. So whenever I am, the posts that you see us post on Facebook or Instagram for restaurant suggestions or recipes, regardless, the way I start when I'm trying to find suggestions for people is I go to these databases like the MyFitnessPal or Calorie King, or I just find the information online, and then I go through and I follow what you probably heard me talk about before as the rule of 15. So I want there to be at least 15 grams of solid protein in that entree, and then I want to try to find an entree that doesn't have much more than 15 grams of total carbohydrates per meal. So that's basically how I do it, and that's how you can do it also. It's okay, you're going to find some that might be on these list of examples that I have that might have 25 carbs or here or there. Most of them are going to be 15 or below, but every once in a while you just have to be flexible too. But as a big rule of thumb, that rule of 15 is a good way to go by as far as choosing entrees. Avoid dishes that are high in refined sugars and deep fried items. No big surprise there. Substitute a vegetable as a side instead of fries. Option to bring a small glass container with you for your leftovers, just so they reheat better. This might be a little overkill for some of you, but that would be something I would do, just kind of bring a glass container. I don't like styrofoam, and things tend to, you're going to probably have leftovers 9 times out of 10, so it'd be nice to have something that will at least reheat better for you later and in a healthier way. Tip number 3, when you cannot plan ahead, choose strategically. So also keeping in mind the portion sizes, so it's just good to memorize, if you haven't already, that 3 ounces of protein is about 20 grams usually, 15 to 20, somewhere in there. And a third of a cup of carbohydrates is usually about 15 grams of total carbohydrates. So when you know those things, if you don't have a food label or an entree list with nutrition information in front of you, you can go by that and you're going to be right most of the time. Do not hesitate to ask for something you want, even if you don't see it on the menu. Restaurants are usually pretty accommodating, so don't be shy about asking for something even if you don't see it. I also brought down some cards. Like, a lot of people use those cards that it says I've had bariatric surgery on it, and if you've lost yours or you want one or you've never had one before, there are some on the table afterward that you can present at restaurants. And that way they know you've had surgery and you're probably not going to be able to eat as big of a portion. In general, so these are like if you don't have those nutrition information in front of you. Mexican restaurants, you can order fajitas and just leave out the tortillas or the chips. Keep in mind the carbs at Mexican restaurants are going to be the beans, the rice, the tortilla, and the chips. So you just choose 15 grams of your favorite of those and then leave the rest out. Casual dining, a salad with some type of protein on top of it, any kind of omelet, protein sandwich with the bun removed are good go-tos. Chinese or Thai, you can do grilled chicken or shrimp skewers, chicken lettuce wraps, beef with broccoli. Chopsticks are a good tool. They do actually slow down your pace of eating, and so that's a good tool to use also. Barbecue restaurants or chicken restaurants. Good tip is just to order the grilled meat or peel the skin off. Opt for a vegetable side instead of potatoes. Tip number 4, no backup carry-out options. So you all know, you've all experienced it, you're planning on cooking Tuesday night, something happens and it's just, there's no way you're going to cook that night and you have to get carry-out. It's just part of life. So it's good to have that backup plan built in already. So I put a few examples of restaurants up here that tend to be carry-out friendly, but obviously for you, figure out what restaurants are going to be close to your house and then kind of start from there as far as convenience goes, and looking up things that are going to follow that rule of 15. So Jersey Mike's, you can do a sub and tub, basically just a sub without the bread, and that will give you higher protein, lower carbs. Chipotle, you can do burrito bowl or salad. You can double the protein at Chipotle, you just have to ask for it. Beans, double the fajita vegetables, and then get a half portion of guac, and then as much of the salsas as you want. Buffalo Wild Wings, you could do 4-piece naked wings. Five Guys has a burger bowl option, so it just doesn't have the bun. Noodles and Company, you can do a small option of one of the following. You can do zucchini truffle mac with chicken, zucchini spicy peanut sauté with grilled chicken, or grilled chicken Caesar salad. All of those would follow that rule of 15. Panera Bread, Cobb salad with chicken, or strawberry poppy seeded chicken salad, are a couple options there. So that just kind of gets the ball rolling. Obviously, you just have to go with what you like and what's close to you, but that kind of gives you an idea of how that could work. Okay, so now my examples start. So I basically just thought of as many restaurants as I could in the time that I had to come up with, give you some concrete examples of things you could order from sit-down restaurants. So Applebee's, you could do the French onion soup, would give you about 22 carbs, 17 protein. You could do a side of grilled shrimp or chicken and vegetables. You could do the baked haddock or grilled steak Caesar salad, or some options for Applebee's. cheddars. You could do the blackened salmon salad, grilled whitefish, 4-ounce ribeye, hickory smoked baby back ribs. If you did the half rack, it would give you 20 carbs, 49 protein. Grilled chicken pecan salad, 21 carbs, 56 protein. A couple options there. Olive Garden, you can do the chicken or salmon piccata for about 12 carbs and 45 to 60 protein. Chicken margarita, 13 carbs, 64 protein. Or the herb grilled salmon for 9 carbs and 45 protein. Zoe's Kitchen, raise your hand if you've been to Zoe's Kitchen. Good. Okay, I love this place. It's fairly new, and they have a lot of really good options that are very bariatric friendly. It's really good from what I've experienced. This is the type of setting where you can go in and just get carry out and leave, or you can sit down also. So it's a good for either situation. You can do any type of their kebabs, the chicken, salmon, shrimp, or steak, and that'll give you only 3 to 5 carbs and about 20 to 40 grams of protein, somewhere in there. So those are amazing. I've also had this cauliflower rice bowl with salmon, or you can get chicken instead. It's super good. It's a fairly new option on the menu, so I wasn't able to find the exact nutrition information on it, but I'm not at all worried about you ordering that. It's basically just non-starchy vegetables with salmon with it. So it should work just fine for the bariatric diet. You just want to make sure you get all 3 ounces of salmon in.
It's big though.
It is large, yeah. So you probably will have leftovers if you order that. It's so good though. It's one of my favorites. We're in Kansas City, so had to have at least one barbecue. So you could do, from Jack Stack, you could do the barbecue beef brisket, and an order of coleslaw altogether is only about 1 gram of carbs and 23 grams of protein, so that's a good option. Barbecue sauce, I just like to have this one on here just because everyone likes the sauce, so you have to kind of consider it. 2 tablespoons gives you about 6 carbs and about 1 gram of protein. So negligible protein, but it's good to just kind of have an idea of how many carbs are in the sauce so you can portion accordingly. Beef burnt ends give you 14 carbs and about 20 grams of protein. And there's a lot of them on here. There's going to be more options too that you can order from all these restaurants. I didn't find every single option that could work. I tried to find a few from a lot of restaurants just to give you a place to start, but feel free to get on and find other options too if these specific items don't call to you. Texas Roadhouse is a popular one, so the red chili, you can do the grilled chicken salad without the dressing. For the dressing, you can still use the dressing, just maybe have it on the side and dip the fork into it. You probably heard that suggestion before. It also makes your salad better the next day. If you do have to take it home and have leftovers, it definitely makes it easier to eat the next day when the dressing's on the side. Portobello mushroom chicken is 6 carbs and 59 protein. Or grilled pork chop, 4 grams carbs and 41 protein. So lots of options there. Raw sushi. We haven't done a sushi yet, and I get a lot of sushi questions, so this would be a good one. This is for raw particularly, but for sushi restaurants in general, anything that's a sashimi is going to have less rice and more fish in it, and so that's going to be a good option for you. But the tuna cotta roll, 18 carbs, 33 protein. Raw lollipop roll, 15 carbs, 21 protein. Tuna sashimi is good. Chicken yakitori, 6 carbs, 33 protein. Edamame is great. It's a good, if you are going to do an appetizer, that would be a good one. It's 14 grams of carbs and 14 grams of protein. It's definitely a 1-to-1 ratio for edamame. Jose peppers, and again, this one's going to translate pretty easily to, so if you have a favorite Mexican restaurant that's a hole in the wall that doesn't have any of their information on MyFitnessPal, a lot of these types of items can just transition right over into any Mexican restaurant. But you can do the tequila lime chicken, pollo magnifico, or just fajitas in general, and again, those translate to pretty much any Mexican restaurant. Just keep in mind that the tortillas, the chips, the beans, and the rice are all the carbs you want to just keep at bay, or just keep up to 1/3 of a cup or so total throughout your meal. Smoothie King. This is one I've gotten just lots of requests for. But I like to do a little disclaimer in the beginning. You don't want to do a lot of liquid meal replacements. It's okay every once in a while, as long as you're not getting hungry between meals. But as you know, same reason that you don't want to drink the food. Have a smoothie for lunch or whatever. It's going to empty through your stomach a lot more quickly than the turkey would have. And so you just want to keep that in mind. If you are getting hungry, do more of a solid protein instead of a liquid protein. But here are a few of the smoothies that I was able to find at Smoothie King that would not have a carb overload for you and that would have enough protein. Keep in mind also that you're going to probably be able to drink the whole thing. If you go out to eat somewhere, you're probably not going to be able to finish the whole entree, but you will most likely be able to drink the whole smoothie just because it's going to empty out of your stomach more quickly. So that's why it's even more important to pay attention to the carbohydrates and those types of things. Chick-fil-A. So I put a couple fast foods in here. Obviously, we're not trying to promote fast food in general, but again, whenever we ask for feedback, we say, what types of things do you want to know? We get a lot of requests for the fast food items. So obviously, it's something you just want to do in a pinch, but if you are in a situation where that is the only option at Chick-fil-A, there's a couple options of things you could order. The grilled chicken club sandwich without the bun, or the grilled nuggets would be a good option in that situation.
What about the salads there?
The salads could work. Yeah, I didn't look. I was kind of quickly throwing it together, but I
some
bet
of them already have chicken, like chicken nuggets in them.
that would be good. So you just want to kind of look it up and find out. And as long as the dressing's on the side, and that could work just
They
as
have
well.
like a low-cal balsamic.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, so low-cal balsamic salad from Chick-fil-A could also potentially be a good option. Yeah, lots of other options too. You got to be kind of careful with sometimes some of the fast food salads might be a little deceiving as to what's in them. So you do want to double check most of the time, but that would probably be
Yeah,
a
they
good
have
option.
those little packets, and I think the carbs are in the little packets of toppings, but itself is just like fruit and lettuce, you know, and like there's like
Yeah.
kind of fruit and lettuce.
Yeah, that's certainly a better option than a triple cheeseburger or something like that and fries. So that it would be a better option. For sure. Wendy's small chilies, 21 carbs, 17 proteins. That's not a bad option. Double stack burger, 26 carbs. Now you could take the bun off, I'm assuming, and that would cut those down quite a bit and give you 25 grams of protein. Or a 5-piece chicken nugget. So again, you want to try to avoid the fast food as much as possible, but those are give you an option if you are needing something fast. IHOP, so omelet, and I'm thinking that this omelet is just like cheese and eggs. 10 grams of carbs, 27 grams of protein. 1 piece of sausage gives you 3 carbs, 24 protein. 1 piece of ham, 4 carbs, 20 protein. Or if you're not in there for breakfast and you want lunch, 8-piece wings. And again, I'm sure there's lots of other options. This just kind of gives you a place to start. So, with that being said, I'd kind of like to turn this over to you all. If you have questions, great, or comments, or just if there's something that you found that has worked really well for you, it's kind of your heart beating out of your chest, you'd like to share, you feel like it would benefit others, feel free to raise your hand and share. Or also if you just have suggestions in general of restaurants you'd like to have meal ideas for us, just because we are trying to keep promoting that for you. We've had a lot of really positive feedback from you guys about having those menu items suggested on social media and whatnot, so we'd like to keep providing those for you. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to give us those out.
Jersey Mike's has a lettuce wrap, and that's wonderful.
Okay, Jersey Mike's lettuce wrap, good to know.
The Thai lettuce wraps at the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
You get 3 of them. They're very filling and delicious. I always used to get the shiladi salad there. And so I'm looking through and it was like 1,700 calories in the salad. And I was like, oh, like I can't order that. What am I going to have? And then I found this and it was fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. So
And I was worried when it first came because I was like, 3 better lettuce leaves. Like, is this going to fill me
Yeah.
up? But it really did. It was
so
great.
it was the Thai lettuce wrap from Cheesecake Factory. is
Yeah,
what you said.
fantastic.
The ahi tuna appetizer at Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
Because it's just a little bit of like like an Asian coleslaw lightly dressed with like 6 pieces of ahi tuna.
Awesome.
Like perfect.
Say it again, ahi tuna
It's just an ahi tuna
appetizer.
It's like the perfect size.
Okay,
It's like a full dinner for me, just
awesome.
no leftovers.
Where was it again?
Outback.
Outback Steakhouse. Okay. I'm trying to repeat them to you guys so that people maybe watching on camera, they can hear them too. Yes.
So a couple, I think, to tack on to the Outback, on their children's menu, they have a small sirloin and broccoli. So it's like under 5 ounces of sirloin, and broccoli is $8.99, so you can't beat that price.
Nice.
So that's good for, again, a rare child's menu item that you could have, something decent. Also at the Cheesecake Factory, on the Skinny Licious menu, there is a Tuscan chicken. You get it without the farro, and just get the asparagus and the roasted tomatoes and the chicken. The whole dish is under 600 calories, but it's really 3 meals for bariatric size, so it makes great leftovers. And can't leave out the Bonefish Grill. Their ahi tuna, their appetizer, the small, it's about 3 to 4 ounces of ahi tuna, and it's quite excellent. Again, it's on the small side, and it stays really within our portion size.
Yeah. So, Bonefish Grill, ahi tuna. That sounds. I'm sure there's a lot of really good. Like that would be a good if your family likes that kind of thing. That restaurant would probably have a lot of options for you. Yeah.
I kind of became a huge fan of Mexican restaurants after surgery because every single one I've been to, you can order anything a la carte. So for portions, I'll usually get just like a grilled chicken taco and not eat the shell, just make it kind of like a salad and just, usually for a couple dollars. And that seems to be like the only type of cuisine that you can just order just one instead of a whole meal and eat all the sides and everything.
Yeah. So like an a la carte hot taco and then just take out the insides. That's a great idea.
We were talking a little while ago about Olive Garden. What about their salad? Is that?
I'd have to look it up to know for sure. Like we were mentioning, like salads are one of those things. It's like, oh my gosh, like this salad is 3,000 calories and this other salad is 200 calories, and it really just depends on where it's from. So that would be, like salads especially are good to really look up the information on, just because they seem like they're healthy. And it might be great. It might fall within that rule of 13 just fine. And sometimes just the simple act of just taking the dressing off and putting it on the side can significantly change that number. So it just depends. I'd have to look it up specifically, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. Yeah. Yes.
So I'm not quite 2 months out, so we haven't really done many restaurants yet. But as a couple, what would be one of the strategies that you would use, for 2 of us if we go to a nice restaurant? Something that looking for ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't be afraid to share things. I mean, that one's kind of a given. Go places where you're both going to like what's there.
That's a given.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What about you guys? Anybody else have suggestions on that who's done that before?
I think that was a struggle for Cal and myself. I think, early on, it'd be like, okay, what do you want, and then you just get your own meal and you don't eat. And now every single time we go out, we look to see what we both want. Even if we go to the Capitol Grill or something like that, we pick something. I eat a very small portion of it. Even if I don't like the vegetable he chooses, I'll pick my own vegetable. But we usually share a meal 90% of the time when we go out to a nicer restaurant.
I'll say for me that in the beginning, when we go out to eat, I would say, I want this, whatever. And, and I would often order whatever I saw that I wanted. And knowingly, I didn't finish most of it. But I was talking to my husband about that. Now we do where we share more. But he was like, I wanted you to feel like you were in control, that you weren't being restricted. He said, because I feel like if you went at first and I was like, you really don't want to order all that, either you're going to waste it or you don't have room for it, or one of the other things, I probably would have become more like stubborn and angry towards it and been like, no, this is what I want type of thing, So I think that's part of the mental health aspect of it for me personally, that like I had to get to a place where I was like, okay, nope, I don't want this because I don't feel good when I have it. But I had to have it and not feel good to move past it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
To kind of go along with that, like Mexican restaurants, I know there's better choices, but sometimes the a la carte thing, I splurge and let myself have a cheese enchilada. Because it's good, it's warm, it's comforting, and it's like the perfect size, and I'm full, and it's not the best choice, but sometimes you just gotta splurge a little bit.
Yeah, right. One bite keeps you from having 20 bites later or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, just plain by itself, nothing else with it, just kind of checks that, like,
Yeah.
you feel kind of bad and good too.
Yeah.
One thing is when you're full, you should, and you're out at a restaurant, you should get a box right then, to-go box, so you don't eat any more. You don't sit there and pick on it after that. You just eat what you want and get the rest of it out of your way into a box or a thing to go.
Yeah. Get it out of sight before you're tempted to pick on it later.
So along that, just get the box when you first get your food, so you can divide it up and have it all nice and fresh,
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah. Another suggestion too, I just thought of it, popped into my head for eating out in nicer restaurants when there are two of you. If you go to a nice enough restaurant, you'll find one that gives pretty small portions to begin with. I know, what is it, 5 seasons, 4 seasons?
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Seasons 52.
Seasons 52, thank you. That one has pretty small portions. And you still might have a few bites of leftovers afterward, but that one would be one that you could get smaller portions for 2 people and have it be pretty nice still. So those are all good comments. Anything else? Suggestions? Restaurant, anybody have any suggestions for restaurants they want to know ideas for?
What about like the Japanese steakhouse?
Okay.
I know it has sodium.
That's
but-
it. We can do that.
Yeah,
You can
that
make
way
it
you
work.
can kind of just say, oh, I just want this much and not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good. So I guess we're ready. We can kind of divide out into groups. How many groups should we do? 2 groups? Okay. Yeah, if you want to do 2 groups.